Hello, this is the easiest way to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. This is a general overview of the steps that we are going to be taking to solve the Rubik's Cube today. First, we are going to make a daisy on the yellow side, which looks like this little flower. Next, we are going to be making the white cross on the white side, which is not just the cross, but also these edge pieces that are connected to the centers on the side. Then we are going to be solving the first layer, which is not just the side, but also these pieces on the side as well, to make an entire layer solved. The next step that we are going to be doing is solving the second layer, which is just this middle slice right here. Then we are going to be making a yellow cross on the top face, just like this. After that, we are going to get the entire face correctly oriented, meaning we're going to get all of the yellow pieces facing upward. Then we are going to be solving all of the corners on the puzzle. Finally, we are going to solve all of the edges and complete the puzzle entirely. In order to solve the Rubik's Cube, you need to understand the notation, which is how the cube turns. You have the front side, the back side, the up side, the down side, the right side, and the left side. Each of those is given the letter for each of the sides. So U, D, F, B, R, and L. If you see a capital letter, that means to look at that side and turn it clockwise. So a capital R would mean to look at the right side and turn it clockwise. Similarly, if you see a capital L, that would mean to look at the left side and turn it clockwise. So an algorithm like RL would mean right side clockwise, left side clockwise. Now notice that these do not turn in the same direction. It's best not to think of it as up or down, but as clockwise and counterclockwise. If you see an apostrophe next to one of the capital letters, it means to turn that side counterclockwise. So R apostrophe or R prime means to look at the right side and turn it counterclockwise. If you see a 2 next to a letter, it means to turn that side twice. So if you see U2, that would mean to turn the up side twice. In order to make the daisy, first we're going to put the yellow face on top. And you can tell it's the yellow face based on this middle piece, and you just put that facing up. Then we are going to look on each of the sides for yellow edge pieces, not the corner pieces, which are these ones here that have 3 colors, but the edge pieces, which are in the middle and have 2 colors. Once we find a white edge piece, if it's on the left, all we have to do is just bring it up to the top. But we can see that there's already a white piece right here in the way. So if there is a white piece in the way, we're just going to move that piece out of the way so that there's an empty slot above it, and then we can move the piece up. If there's an edge on the right side, you can do the same thing. So there's an empty slot here, so we can just move this up. If there's a piece on the bottom, then what we can do is just make sure that there's an empty slot above it. So right here, we see if we bring this to the top, there's going to be another white piece in the way. So we can put this slot up here that's empty and move it all the way to the top. If we have an edge that's flipped like this, all we have to do is just turn the front side like that, and then proceed with the steps like normal. So we see that there is a yellow sticker or a white piece in the way, so we put an empty slot above it, and then we just bring it to the top like normal. If there's a piece in the front right here, in order to bring that to the top, you just have to turn the front face and then bring it to the top like normal. So we'll make sure there's an empty slot above it. This is a white sticker, so we're going to move that out of the way, and then we can just bring this up to the top. And there we go, we have a daisy. In order to complete the white cross, first we have to just take one of the white edges here and line it up so that it matches a color right here. So this is green. It needs to have a green piece right here. So we can move this. That one's blue, which won't work. That one's orange, and this one's green. So this one matches. Then we can just turn that layer twice to bring it to the bottom. Now we can rotate the cube like this, and repeat with each of these edges. So this one's a blue one. Blue does not match with orange. It doesn't match with green. Doesn't match with red. Here we go. It matches with blue. So now we can just bring it to the bottom. This piece is orange. It doesn't match with the red. It does not match with the blue. It does match with the orange. So we can just bring that to the bottom. Now our last piece is red. The red does not match with the orange. It does not match with the green. And here it matches with the red, so we can bring it to the bottom. And now, as you can see, we have our entire white cross with the edges in the correct spot. In order to solve the first layer, the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to take the white cross and make sure that it's on the bottom. Then we're going to look for a white corner in the top layer. This one will work. So this corner is white, orange, and green. And what that means is that it will need to go in between the white, orange, and green center. So by moving the top layer, we can put it above the spot where it needs to go. So we know it needs to go right here, and we can turn the top layer to make sure that it is directly above the spot that it needs to go in. In order to put the corner into the spot, we're going to do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime. And it didn't solve the corner, so we're going to keep doing it until it does. R, U, R prime, U prime. The corner is not solved yet. R, U, R prime, U prime. Now we can see that the corner is solved correctly in that spot. Now we'll look for another white corner. Here's one. This one is red, green, and white. So we know that it goes in between the red, green, and white centers. So it goes right here. So just like before, we can move the top layer to put it above where it needs to go, and then do that algorithm to put it in that spot. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And now we can see that it's in the spot. Here's the next corner, and it is red, white, and blue. So it goes in between the red, white, and blue centers, right here. So we need to move that corner to this spot. So by moving the top layer, we can move it right there, and we can do that algorithm until it is solved. R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, U prime. And here's the last corner, which is white, orange, and blue. So it goes in between the white, orange, and blue center, right here. So we can move it above where it needs to go by turning the top layer, and then do the algorithm until the corner is solved. R, U, R prime, U prime. And there we go. Now we have the entire first layer solved, which remember is not just the white face, but also this line of colors on the side here. A problem you may have is that there are no more white corners in the top layer. If that is the case, then that means that the white corners are in the bottom layer, but probably in the wrong spot. So this corner is white, green, and orange, and it's not in the right spot. So in order to get it into the top layer, we're just going to do that same right four moves that we've been doing. R, U, R prime, U prime, to move it into the top layer, or we can move it and solve it from there. So this is white, green, and orange, which goes in between the white, green, and orange. We're going to move it above where it needs to go, and we're going to do that algorithm until it's solved. Just like that. To solve the second layer, first we are going to look for a non-yellow edge that's in this top layer here. So this edge has red and yellow, so that won't work. This edge has green and orange. It doesn't have yellow, so that's the one that we can use. We can turn the bottom two layers until it lines up with the centerpiece in front to give us this upside down T shape. Then we have to determine whether the edge goes to the right side right here or to the left side right here. And this is super easy. We can just see what color this edge is, so this is green and orange, and determine that it goes in between the green and orange center. So it goes to the right. It does not go to the left because the left piece needs to be green and red, so it wouldn't be solved over here. If you have an edge that goes to the right, this is the algorithm that you're going to do. You're going to do U, the same right moves from before, so R, U, R prime, U prime. You're going to turn this way, and then you're going to do that same 4 moves, but this time with the left hand. So L prime, U prime, L, U. And that will solve the edge in its correct spot. Now let's look for the next edge. This one does not have yellow, it has blue and orange, so that will work. We'll move the bottom 2 layers to make our upside down T, and we can see that this one goes to the left side. So blue and orange goes in between the blue and orange. It does not go in between the right side because this would be blue and red. So since this goes to the left side and not to the right, we're going to do this algorithm. U prime, the left 4 moves, L prime, U prime, L, U. We're going to rotate this way and then do the right 4 moves. R, U, R prime, U prime. And as we can see, it solves that edge. Repeat this until all of your edges are solved. A problem you may have is that there are no more non-yellow edges in the top layer. So as we can see that these all have yellow on them, so none of them will work. What that means is that there's an edge in the middle layer that may not be in the right spot. So we can see that this is red and green, but it's in the spot between the red and the blue. So this one does not work. So what we can do in that case is substitute a piece in to go into that spot. So we can take this yellow piece, do the left algorithm, and as you can see, it moved that piece into the top layer where we can correctly make our upside down T and put it where it needs to go. Just like that. Another case that you may have is where there's a piece in its spot, but it's just flipped around. And just like before, we can take a yellow piece up here and use it as a substitution to move this piece. So if we put this here, this will be moved. So as a substitution, we'll do the right algorithm. And as we can see, it brought it into the top layer where we can now make our upside down T, determine where it needs to go, and do the algorithm for which way it needs to go to solve it. The next step in solving the Rubik's Cube is to get the yellow cross on top. And you can have a few different cases. The first one is where you have a little dot. If you have the dot, you can just do this from anywhere. You're going to do the following algorithm. F, the right 4 moves, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then F prime. The second case that you can have is this little L shape. We're ignoring the corners for now because we're only focused on the edges. So this is just a little L. If you have the L shape, you need to put it facing where one edge faces towards you and one edge faces towards the right. So if it were up here, we just need to turn the top layer to put one facing towards me and one to the right. And then we can do the same algorithm that we did before. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, and F prime. The last case that we can have is whenever we have a line, just like this. If we have a line, we need to make sure that it's horizontal. So if it's like this, that won't work. We'll need to turn the top layer to make it going to the left and to the right, a horizontal line. And we're going to do the same algorithm that we've been doing. So F, the right 4 moves, R, U, R prime, U prime, and then F prime. And now, as you can see, our cross is solved. The next step is to get the entire top side correctly oriented to be all yellow. And this is super easy. All we have to do that is look at this corner piece right here and turn until we find a yellow one. So this one's orange, which won't work. This one's blue, and that won't work. This one's green, and that one won't work. And this one's yellow, so this one will work. Then we're going to do this algorithm. R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime. And we're going to do that until we get a little fish shape, just like this. Whenever you get the little fish shape, you're going to turn the top layer to make sure that the fish is pointing in the top right corner. And you're going to do that same algorithm again. R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R. And I got a fish again, so just like before, in the top right, and repeat the algorithm. R, U2, R prime, U prime, R, U prime, R prime. And now you can see that we got the top face correctly oriented to be yellow. In order to solve all the corners, first we're going to look for just two corners that are the same, like this. These two are both orange. And it has to be in the top layer. So this is red and green. Those two do not match, so we can't use those. This is blue and green, and we can't use those either. This is red and blue, and we can't use those either. But we can use these two orange ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the two corners that are the same and put them in front of us. If it was over here, you would just turn the cube so that they're facing you. And you're going to do this algorithm. R prime, U, L prime, U2, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R, L. And now we can see that all of our corners are solved. You may run into a case like this where there are no matching corners on any of the sides, in which case you can just do that algorithm from anywhere and it will result in there being two matching corners. For example, I could do it right here. R prime, U, L prime, U2, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R, L. And that resulted in me having two matching blue corners right here. So I can do the algorithm again with them facing towards me. R prime, U, L prime, U2, R, U prime, R prime, U2, R, L. And now all of my corners are solved. To solve the remaining edges on the cube, we need to look for a solid bar, like this one. This blue bar will work. This is orange and red, and this is orange and green. None of these have a full bar. They only have the corners. So this blue bar will be the only one that works. What we have to do is take the blue bar and put it in front of us. So if it was over here, we just need to rotate so that it's facing towards us. And do the following algorithm. The right four moves are U, R prime, U prime. The left four moves L prime, U prime, L, U. And then we're going to do the right four moves backwards. So U, R, U prime, R prime, and we're going to do the left four moves backwards. U prime, L prime, U, L. And we're going to do that until all of our edges are solved. We may have a case like this where you don't have a solid bar. And in that case, you can just do the algorithm from anywhere. The right four moves are U, R prime, U prime. The left four moves, L prime, U prime, L, U. The right four moves backwards, U, R, U prime, R prime. The left four moves backwards, U prime, L prime, U, L. And as you can see, that resulted in us having a bar right here. Congratulations, now you have solved the 3x3 Rubik's Cube. If you liked the video, please do me a favor and Leave a comment about how it helped you, like, and subscribe.